Hey everybody, welcome back for hour 2 of Blades in the Dark. We have arrived at the trap set by Preceptor Dunville. The party has arrived. They've entered the room, and yeah, Dunville, his resolve has a tiny crack in it when he sees the knights. He's a little bit concerned about their arrival. But and Zeke, now that you have reflexes, we have this understanding. Now, whenever I say that NPCs are doing something, you can choose when to interrupt me.
Okay.
you can essentially beat people to the punch now. So I'm gonna start saying some stuff, and if Aldo wants to intervene, to let me know when.
Gotcha.
So we see that little tiny wry smile on Dunville's face. He glances left and right into the shadows. The cultists are staying there with their heads bowed, and the hoods turn and kind of make eye contact with him, and then shift back, and you see them all like start to turn in your direction. We're kind of facing the center of the room, and now they're turning towards the front of the room. They haven't moved yet from their positions.
I think Careless kind of pans and sees everything, and then goes back to Dunville is his name, right?
Yeah.
Preceptor Dunville. He says, Preceptor Dunville, I've come to obviously attend the appointment that we established, but I would also like to lay out my claims. You are but just a stepping stone on our path down something much larger, so you need not necessarily die a horrific death today. I did promise you the dog, but I could be more merciful than that. I've grown quite attached to removing heads. Needless to say, what you need to do to establish this timely and painless demise would be to give us information. We're after your higher ups. Need you to be removed from the church, but as you can imagine, of course, the problem will be solved anyways. And I will need to know where you have containers. We'd like to take this electroplasm and sell it on the open market. We do have a business to run.
You may not know it, but we're actually electroplasm merchants on the side.
We're opportunists.
That's right. He locks eyes with you. His smile drops, and eventually completely disappears when you make offhand comments about chopping his head off. And he says, Mr. Firm, I'm afraid that none of that will be possible. I do appreciate that you showed up for our appointment. I had my doubts after what happened yesterday with the bonfire. And he kind of glances past your shoulder at Rune. I thought perhaps you would decide to turn tail and escape while you had the chance. But no matter. Demons like you, and those that serve them, and he indicates the rest of the group. I'm afraid no negotiation is possible. There's only one thing to do to a corrupt cancer like you, and that is cut it out. And the cultists take one step forward, closer in. The knights haven't moved. They're like standing stock still, but obviously they're like ready to go. And he says,
Myth growls when they walk forward.
Oh, nice. Do you want Myth like right next to you, Anne, or somewhere else?
Yeah, he's right next to me.
Okay. He says, now, would you kindly put yourself in the sarcophagus, Mr. Firm?
I think as he says that.
Jeff, I have a question.
Yeah.
How much of a demon are you right now?
Like
on a scale of 1 to 4.
Interesting question. I think I'd say like a 2. Like he's half what he was.
Okay. I'm gonna make a fortune roll.
Excellent.
5. Okay. When he says, get in the sarcophagus, you walk towards it, 1 foot after the other, approaching. You get about halfway there in a moment or two. You just do that.
Okay.
You can resist. This is a consequence. Consequences can be resisted. Although can interrupt at whatever point in that he wants to. Otherwise, when he tells you to get in the thing, you feel utterly compelled to do it. And
Jeez.
yeah. Well, I take it back. He got a 5. You feel
Mostly like I want to.
You like you want to. That's a better way to put it. Yeah. Like it's not a bad idea in the tactical situation of this fight. You're just like, yeah, that of course I would get in the sarcophagus. That's no big deal.
Okay, so before I talk about his reaction, I guess I'll roll the dice to see.
Yeah, if you want to resist, you can resist. See how much stress it costs, and you can stand your ground instead.
Okay. Yeah, I always like to resist. Is that a prowess roll?
This is resolve. It's testing your will.
Okay. I've been prepared for this.
Click resolve. I think you'll just do it.
No bonus dice, I guess. I don't think I have any.
No.
Like I guess resistance on other things, like tough as nails, right? But that's not.
Yeah, you get it with physical stuff. And this thing is particularly potent against you. I mean, it would be if you were a full demon. You wouldn't even. You would automatically do it if you were a full demon. I rolled for him because you're not.
Oh, okay. Well, tough as nails actually is not resistance anymore, anyways. It's just harm. Right?
Oh, that's right. You have the other version, right? Yeah.
Okay. So no bonus dice.
Nope. Hey.
Oh, 6 anyways.
Now, nice. Very nice.
So I think there's actually this, and you can. Do I just straight up reserve?
Yeah. He tells you to do it, and you tell me like how.
Okay.
How you react.
Yeah, I think he says that, and there's obviously like some kind of weird connection. Like the words that he says when he says that resonate, and my body like tugs forward. My eyes are black anyways, but there's like a softening of the eyelids and the skin around them of a like not quite an entrapment, but like a yeah, sure, like a
Mm-hmm.
and then it like focuses, and my normal static smile like drops to a frown, and then like a little bit of an agape, and
as soon as I see this, I just say one word. I just go, careless.
Yeah. And as you say that, like, it snaps me out, and I kind of look back at you and look forward, and I say, oh, Preceptor Dunville, you made a terrible, terrible mistake. And then I just lightning quick lash out at the guy next to me with the sword.
Nice. So you lunge like over here. You guys can move your tokens if you want to, but I'll just kind of open with that if you want, Jeff.
Yeah.
The closest guy to you, yeah.
So while Careless engages with that first guy, I look at Dunville across the sarcophagus. Just like, before it's too late, I really love what you've done with the place. And Myth like kind of dematerializes as he's like gonna go attack one of these other cult members.
Okay.
I don't know how to move him.
This guy, the 1908, says that cultist was 6 days from retiring.
They always are.
For this.
Now, just quick question. As far as looking at the sarcophagus goes, is the sarcophagus a part of the stone floor, or it's been moved there?
It has been moved here.
Okay, so I could, if I were to, I don't know, perform a feat of superhuman strength, I could pick that fucking thing up and throw it at somebody?
Oh my god, that would be extremely superhuman. You could certainly like upend it and sort of caber toss it at somebody. Like actually lifting it up over your head would be pretty insane. But yeah, you could use it as a weapon, definitely. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, Anne. I can't, for some reason I can't give you permission on this token, so I'll just move Myth.
Okay.
Do you want him to go back towards the guys by the door or forward into the room?
I was gonna send him to the other side of the room, so the top left gray dot.
Like all the way at the back of the room?
The top left.
Oh, up here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so Myth like dematerializes.
Flanking position. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and like pops up out of the darkness.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And Aldo, you're rushing forward towards the sarcophagus.
Yep.
Miss Cataby, I should tell you, behind you, you sense both the cultists by the doors, by the portcullises. They turn, and this is what they're doing. You can try to interrupt them, but they turn and knock the latch free, so that both of the gates slam shut and trap you inside. If you don't care about that, they just do it. You can do something else, but that's their action right now.
The two that are directly behind Rune and I.
Yeah, the ones by the doors there. They're like standing by those wheels, and they knock the latches free, so the portcullis is shut.
Okay.
Who like how do the knights do stuff?
Yeah,
Does, like Careless have to tell them, or like what?
They're about to move.
Okay.
As soon as Careless jumps forward, I think although technically if you want, you can beat everyone to the punch here and go first. But it's essentially as soon as Careless makes his move, the knights are going to fan out into the room and start stabbing cultists. So I'll go ahead and kind of indicate where they're going. Yeah, so I think what we see is, before we make any rolls, like Careless lunges forward with his sword to run this guy through, and then the knights all charge forward into the room. Myth dematerializes. Aldo runs forward, gets his hand under the sarcophagus, puts his shoulder into it, and starts to heave it. And let's go ahead and roll then. Zeke, do you want to beat everyone to the punch here and make your sarcophagus move first, or do you want to let Careless start the fight?
I would like to. The whole reason, well, there's two reasons why I'm grabbing the sarcophagus, just so you know. One of them is so it's out of the picture for Careless to like jump in it or whatever, and two is to throw it at
Dunville.
Dunville, thank you.
Okay, nice.
So yeah, I will, if I can, I will act first and grab this thing and fucking,
okay,
toss it at him.
Cool. So you're super fast now. So you get your shoulder under it and dig your, it's sitting on the stone floor. So we see you're gonna Hulk out, right? You're gonna use your power.
Yeah. Oh, and that's I forgot the other like heavy armor shit. Like I have like leather wraps around my fists.
Nice. Yeah. So you go. Yeah. So take two stress. Let me mark that on.
Yep.
Your tracker.
2
here.
Stress. Boop.
And yeah, we see you actually your fingernails and your fingertips like punch into the grit and dirt under the sarcophagus. You get your fingers under there, get your shoulder, and you've heaved it like most of the way up. And in the background, we see Careless and the knights like whoosh, rushing forward as you end over in this thing towards Dunville. Dunville, not expecting this shit to happen. This if this game had like a surprise round, then this is what's happening right now with him. He's just standing there, and all of a sudden, this like stone thing is whipping at his face. So he stands there like, let's make your. I think it's wreck, right? Sounds like you're wrecking the shit.
Sounds good to me.
So let's make your wreck roll. It's controlled. I mean, yeah, it's controlled. That no one is opposing you. There's no one's in like ready to react or stab you in the back or anything. They're just like, what?
Cool.
Look, you are.
And you used your ability, and it's like a big heavy weapon. I think it's great effect to start.
Okay.
You could. Well, actually, no. I think it's extreme, because you're also hulked out. So, well, it's up to you. You can take a bonus die on this because of your not to be trifled with special ability that you just activated.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can push it to extreme effect and potentially just like paste Dunville with this thing, which Careless said, don't kill him. So maybe you don't want to do that, but you can choose for a bonus die or improved effect.
No, I'll just do great effect and get a bonus die.
Okay, so it's controlled great plus 1d.
Okay. Oh man.
Ooh.
Controlled though. Fuck,
Yeah.
but it's not.
Yep.
Yeah, 4-5 controlled is a success, right?
Yeah.
It's a success. Yeah. So
Okay.
you
With a complication.
with complication.
Mm-hmm.
Your arm gets torn off.
Fucking don't give my ideas, ass. Jeez.
So it's
No,
You're gonna get
there was 20 fucking ideas that went through my head that I didn't say because of that.
Sorry.
I know I was waiting for the crit there too, chat. Okay, so you can just go ahead and do it with reduced effect, with standard effect instead of great.
Okay.
And hit him with the sarcophagus and be like, fuck it, I'll just do it. Or you can do it with great effect and end up in a risky position. But because you've done that, you see out of the corner of your eyes, a couple of the cultists are rushing in to get you.
Sure.
And there's this longer moment where you're like your hands are full and you're like, oh no, and you see them coming and you can just be like, fuck it, I do it anyway, and let them get in to attack you.
Okay.
Or you can kind of like half-heartedly heave it and step back so you're not in a risky position with the cultists.
No, I'll do great effect and leave myself open for some shit.
Okay. So yeah, Dunville, he flinches out of the way as the sarcophagus comes in. I'm gonna move this thing. Hang on, I gotta switch to the map background. I didn't think I'd be moving the sarcophagus.
This is not a movable item, Zeke. It's gonna take a minute.
So yeah. He flinches, and the in slow motion here, like the stone corner of the thing, instead of taking him through the skull, like it misses like this. He tumbles backwards out of the way to try to dodge it, and it slams on his leg. It like pins his leg to the ground, smashes his kneecap and shin bone probably, and he's like pinned like a bug under the thing. He tumbles backwards, and it crashes down on his leg, and he cries out in pain briefly, like ah, and clutches at his leg and turns and flails, and he can't move. Like his leg is completely pinned under this huge stone.
Nice.
Wait. And then two guys stab you in the face. You can obviously fight them, but that's what they're doing. And Careless, you're stabbing the first cultist. So
Yep.
Let's make your stab a dude roll.
I love it.
Now, right now, you're unengaged with the mob. You have the knights kind of acting as a screening force for you.
Mm-hmm.
You can use finesse right now, I think. Like, you're not in a full skirmish. So you can either one. Like, if you want to use skirmish, you can step in and get in close with the knights and like fight with them as a force. Or you can stay back more like a duelist and like use finesse to sort of stab this dude through the heart and stay out of the general melee. It's up to you.
I think the careless way is to just get in there and have gouts of blood splash on him. So
Nice.
my finesse is really good as well, but he wants to kill.
So you can lead a group action with the knights if you want. You'll risk taking stress, but you can do that.
To mow several down is what I would guess, because they're engaging semi-individually.
Sorry, say again.
To mow several down is what I'm saying. Is the advantage.
Right. Yeah, exactly. You guys are gonna like force on force, and you're sort of the leader of that.
Okay. Controlled then?
It's
Risky?
It's risky. And you have the advantage right now in terms of effectiveness. You have elite Hollow Knights against the cultists, so it's risky and great effect.
And my weapon quality, I mean, it goes up to great, I guess, right? We just kind of max out.
Yeah, you and the knights together are like a fine quality fighting force against the fine quality cultists, but the knights are better fighters, so that takes you over the edge.
I think no pushing, so just no added dice is what I'm saying.
Yep, skirmish, and I will roll.
Oh, do the knights count as cohorts for my
Yeah, so normally no, but you got to fucking crit extreme to recruit them, so yes, they do. Normally they're not like, it takes a certain bond to have a cohort and stuff, but yeah, in this case, the church is like taken whatever ritualistic power controls these guys and transferred it to you for this operation. So they're like moving in sync with you. So yeah, tell us what is your leadership power grant in this case?
They get +1 effect, and +1 armor. So I guess their armor's pretty sick already. And
yeah,
are we still just at great?
No, that actually pushes you up. It pushes you up to extreme. So you can try to actually instead of it being like inflicting casualties, you can start dropping like murdering cultists with this roll potentially.
My roll's a 5.
Okay, I will roll for them. My elite knights.
Jared.
I got a 3.
So I take what, 1 stress?
You take 1 stress, yeah.
But we get a 5.
And you get a 5, yeah. So I think the explanation for the 3 here, for the 1 stress to you, is you have certain intentions. You're fighting through these cultists, presumably to get at Dunville or advance through the room. And even though I just said like you are in sync with them and they are attuned to you to do this, as you start to press forward, you realize they're kind of like mindlessly focusing on each cultist to finish them off rather than kind of following your momentum forward. And so you have to change gears right in the middle of your action so you don't get like isolated and cut off from the rest of the knights.
Okay.
And you pull up short and it's a skirmish. These cultists rush forward. Let me change the position on the map here a little bit. They're all kind of running in here. And 2 on Aldo with that. These 2 behind Rune and Miss Cataby. Okay, cool. I think everyone's basically engaged now. Rune and Miss Cataby aren't quite engaged yet. Those guys are coming up behind you. So there's 2 cultists here in the middle, double teaming up on this one knight, and then one of them slips past and gets in your face, Careless. So you are gonna cut him down with your blade, with your extreme effect here, and he gets a shot in on you because of your 5. So let me see. They're fine. You're fine. Scale. He's going to inflict level 2 harm, a sword or wound. Or sorry, knife wound. He has a. Of course, they're cultists. They have like evil cult names, serpentine blades. So yeah, I think you stab him right through the chest, and he falls forward, gurgling, and like tries to pin his blade like right against your collarbone, like as he expires. So that's level 2 harm. You can use your armor. Obviously, you're wearing your armor. That'll
armor, or could just resist and then use armor, or how's that?
Yeah, you can do both. We play with both in effect. So you can use your armor to knock it down to level 1, and you can resist to get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna resist.
Okay.
I'm terribly sorry. I somehow forgot. Which roll is that?
It's prowess. So your prowess ability counts.
So I get +1 on that, I think is what that does.
Yep.
No. Just a 4.
4. Okay. You take 2 stress.
2 stress, and then the armor absorbs the rest, I guess.
Yeah. So it like hits your breastplate, and we see like the blade actually punches through. You have nice armor, but their blades are like finely crafted, really nice material, and it punches through the armor and puts this big hole, like tearing hole in the metal, but it doesn't get you.
Okay.
And this guy flops over sideways, dead.
I like mega annoyed, then just like sticking out of my chest or whatever.
Nice. And I will remove some cultists because you and the Vanguard of Knights kill several of these guys in your advance here. No. Okay. Yeah, so that's out of the corner of your eye. You see, instead of pushing forward, the knights like stop. Cultists slam into them, stab between their armor plates. One of the knights deflects one off with his shield and lops his head off with his sword, and you see cultists like falling.
We might have had an error. My prowess should roll 4 dice, and I should get the +1. I did put 1 bonus dice, but only rolled 3. Is there a reason? Or it rolled 4 dice, do you think?
Oh.
Is that a mistake, or am I adding this up incorrectly?
Let me see. You have 3 in prowess, actually. You have 1, 2, 3 dots in prowess. So with the bonus die, because you don't have anything in rec.
Under prowess, I have 2 that are at 4. Oh, but you only have. I need to put something in rec.
Exactly. Yeah.
If I put one thing in rec, I'll have a 4 in there.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
You just have to have that first column filled.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm bad at gaming, guys. My bad. Okay. Never mind.
All right. It's okay.
That all happens.
Yep. So that's the opening salvo is cultist killed across the battlefield, sarcophagus tossed onto Dunville, pinning his leg. Rune and Miss Cataby, you have cultists. They're rushing up behind you to stab you in the back. What are you guys doing?
Can I roll for myth real quick?
Yeah.
Sweet. 4.
Nice. It's the first time myth hasn't like instantly just slaughtered everything in its path.
Yeah.
So myth and this cultist up here are engaged. They like trade blows essentially. So
so you said the channel around the outside is it water?
It's like black oily water, but it's shot through with electroplasm. So it's electrified and glowy. It's not normal water.
Will it hurt the cultists or us?
Yeah, it would be bad to fall into. It'd be especially bad for
damage?
myth or a ghost or something. Probably bad for careless too, actually. But it's not good for humans either. It would burn and shock you to fall into it.
Okay. I don't know. I was trying to think of a way to use, because I've got Tempest, but we're like underground / inside, so like trying to figure out a way that would make sense.
Yeah, you want to try to draw the
How much like control do I have? How much control does Tempest give me over like elemental stuff? Is it just like create a storm that has very like vague edges, you know?
Yeah, normally when you create a storm, I just say what it does, and it's
Okay.
like it behaves like a storm, and there's collateral damage and whatever.
Right.
But you're a whisper. You can roll a tune and take a risk, to control it or steer the power or whatever. The typical rune maneuver, right? Like, yeah, I'll just channel the city's power grid through my body. You can do that to tell me how it goes instead. That's a thing you can do.
Okay. I'm feeling lucky. I'm gonna take my 2 stress. I'm gonna attempt a Tempest.
Okay.
So I'll roll my attune.
So let me just tell you, you're gonna do that instead of dealing with the cultists. You're just assuming that Miss Cataby is gonna deal with them instead.
No, this is how I'm gonna deal with the cultists.
Oh, I see. This guy's running up behind you, and you're like attuning, and you're gonna try to blast them or something. Gotcha.
You will see once I roll a crit.
All right.
Do it.
The cultist feels very confident. The cultist is like, yeah, she doesn't even try. I'm gonna get her.
Okay. What's risky, control, desperate?
All right. Let me mark your stress. So you're activating Tempest.
Mm-hmm.
Attuning with a melee guy rushing at her, man.
And you want to control the power of. Yeah, I mean, fuck it, it's desperate. Come on, let's get it.
All right, cool. Standard.
So
Great.
So since we're already at desperate, let's say that your effect, like we're gonna trade essentially. So you can bump up your effect and control it more, but that means taking an extra second, which means more danger from the cultist, and it means channeling more of that energy through you. So if you want to have limited effect on the storm and just like change a little bit of what it does, I think that's where we are right now, desperate limited. But if you want to do desperate great or standard or great, we can, but it just ups the potential threat level to you.
I'm gonna go with standard, desperate standard.
So that'll be like level 3 harm that you might be facing here.
Good.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
crit!
fucking shit. Wow.
Good lord, Ann.
Told you I'm feeling lucky, man.
Awesome.
Always.
I don't
wearing
think
the
Ann makes
whisper.
rolls unless her life is in danger anyway. So
Holy shit. All right, Ann. Well, you tell us. So I'm saying that one cultist goes from his cataby and one comes at you and ruined it. Your back's to the cultist. They're going to bury their knife in your back. And then...
How many of them can I kill with this? Can I kill both of them?
You took the risk, the desperate risk here. So instead of filling the room with a storm, you can focus it directly on these two dudes and take them out. Yes, you can totally do that.
Perfect. Okay, cool. So while they're like rushing up behind us, kind of in slow motion, you see my ex, which is currently missing, start like smoking a little bit. My eyes start to glow, and I'm just like, all right, Cataby, want to see a neat trick? And from the left and right sides of this channel, two kind of like bowling ball glob size of water like come up out of it and just go straight to the two cultists and just surround their heads in water.
Oh shit.
So they're like standing in the room but actively drowning because of these like blobs of water that they can't get rid of.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah.
And I just want to remind everyone, Anne wanted us to be thieves, by the way. That came from my girl that wanted us to be thieves.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's
so I
good.
just like turn around as like the two cultists kind of like fall to their knees. They're like trying to get the water away from them, but they can't. And my eyes just like keep glowing more and more like as they die.
Holy shit. That is a dark way of murdering some dudes.
Perfect.
Look, you said we were inside, okay? I had to get creative.
That was amazing. I'm gonna tick your goddess's favor clock because
sweet.
She is into that kind of behavior.
Can I do my action like off of Anne's action?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so imagine that Rune is like, hey, do you want to see a trick? And suddenly I see these like watery ectoplasm bubbles like form in the corner of the room. And then the one starts flying towards the cultist, closest to me. And I think Cataby actually like sort of flinches because she sees this thing sort of coming in the general direction. But then to then like recover as she notices it's going for the cultists, as she like flinches, she spins around and like pulls out both of her pistols and goes for the cultists over here while also like trying to get cover right there.
Nice.
Yeah. So I actually am scared shitless by what Rune does, but I try to like still look cool coming out of the moment of scaredness.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, the one up at the top there is engaged with that knight, and the cultist has sort of stalemated with the knight. It looks that way at first. They've backed off. The knight draws its shield and puts its sword up as if to lunge, and the cultist backs off like they're having a fair fight of some kind. But as you get close, you see the cultist has been stabbed multiple times and is like bleeding all over the floor, and it has gone the knight's way. But they're still up and fighting.
How do they fight, by the way, John? Are they robotic? Are they fluid? Or
the cultists? Yeah, they're very fluid.
No, the knights.
Oh, the knights. Yeah, they're pretty stiff and robotic, but in that they don't telegraph any of their moves. They're just utterly still, and then the blade just whips out of nowhere. So they're kind of hard to read and adjust to. But otherwise, they're very stiff and robotic in their movements. Well, I shouldn't say robotic. They're not hulls. They are physical bodies inside there, but they have that kind of stuttery motion. Yeah. So as these guys gurgle and die, well, I mean, I think it takes they suffocate in the water. They're not dead yet.
It's drown.
Awful. Yeah, they drown. Yeah.
Yeah, that takes a while. It takes
a
full minute.
It's bad. They're
terribly. The show adaptation will have a tough time showing this because it's two men drowning in the open air.
Yeah, the TV ratings for this is not going to make it.
It's like Game of Thrones. As our show gets better, they give us more budget for better CGI.
That's right.
You're right.
Yeah, and there's like still some collateral effects from the storm, I think. So like the water also kind of splashes against the portcullis. There's frost accumulating on the metal there and on the floor on them, you know. There's this whole like effect happening right where they are, and the wind is whipping around, and it's awful. We shouldn't keep talking about it. It's really bad. These guys are dying in a bad way.
It's war porn.
This cat, you rush up and take cover and blast this cultist up here.
Yes.
With your ammo. So you're close enough to jump into a skirmish with your guns, or you can use hunt if you want to, like, you know, take a nice
range shot.
Range shot. Yeah.
I'm gonna use hunt.
Okay.
And
do you want to push or devil's bargain or anything?
No, I'm just going for the shot. I feel like I got it.
Nope, you sure do. Nice. How do you take him out? Are you
just like in a very John Wick-esque spin from being scared, I just pull out both of my pistols and just kind of fire a single shot from each.
Nice. I'm going to mark this guy differently, just because. No particular reason. Pay no mind to what happened here.
Mm-hmm.
Hang on. You're using your electroplasm ammo or your standard ammo?
My electroplasm ammo.
Okay. So yeah, you hit him, and we see the flash of blue, and in the slow-mo, the electroplasmic cartridge comes out of the barrel of the gun, glowing with this electrical energy at the front of it, and it hits the guy, and we see it like crash into his body. Electroplasm bullets are not like taser rounds; they're still bullets, but they're kind of less lethal against people and way more dangerous against spirits typically. But it hits this guy, and we see the electroplasm like explode into his bloodstream from his other wounds, and lightning arcs off him, and there's a little pop of electricity, and he goes and slams against the wall and face plants down, steaming in front of the knight, and the knight is free to move forward with this other knight. Where are they going? I guess they're just sweeping around the backside here. Yeah. Cool. Dunville's action is to flail around with his leg pinned for now. Oh no, actually, he's gonna do something. Hang on, let me see. Let's resolve Aldo's stabbing first, and then I'll talk about Dunville. So, in the swirl of the battle here, Zeke, we've seen Aldo like just go for it. These two cultists are rushing in, knives at the bit. Flips the sarcophagus, and you only have a split second. Fortunately, you have reflexes, but that both of them are stabbing. One's stabbing like right towards your eyes. Mm-hmm. The other one goes low with like an ice pick grip, and he's stabbing upwards towards your solar plexus. They're moving very, very coordinated attack, and the audience watching this would be like, "Shit, there's no way out. Like it's too late. He took too long to throw the sarcophagus, and now he's getting stabbed." What do you do?
Okay, so both of them are coming at me, knives out.
Yeah, the blades millimeters from your body.
Well, I think the best thing I can possibly do is try to lean back and make them stab each other.
That's gonna be really very difficult to do. But if you want to, you can have one.
Ooh, you got to tempt me with that desperate, didn't you, son of a bitch? You're like, it's gonna be risky or desperate. Wait a minute.
It's currently risky, but because of your last one. But if you want them to stab each other, that'll be desperate. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, let's do it. Let's have some fun.
Desperate group.
Nice. This is skirmish, I think. You want to probably be using that. You could still be using wreck, I suppose, if you're doing something different, but
I think this is definitely skirmish.
Yeah, okay. You are not outnumbered because you are not to be trifled with. You activated your ability, so this is actually a fair fight between you and two guys. And so that is desperate, and you wanted to stab each other, so great effect.
Okay. All right, come on. I got 4 dice. Let's make this work. Yay!
Yeah.
1/6, the last one.
Nice. Just got there.
Yep.
You do not get stabbed in the eyes and the solar plexus.
Nice.
Always a good thing.
So I heave this sarcophagus. And then I see these 2 fucking like knives coming at me because I'm like right out of the corner, and I just lean my head back and like lift my hands and guide them towards each other.
Nice. Yeah, they are super confident. Like they think they've got you because you haven't moved. It's it's right there. Sorry, I'm updating the map here with dead bodies. I realized I deleted them instead of just making them dead. Rune's almost dead bodies are dark gray here. They'll be dead in a minute. And one more. Yeah. Bam, bam. They stab each other and drop down, gasping at Aldo's feet. We sort of step back, I think. They're not dead yet, but they've given each other these horrible knife wounds, like in the neck and the chest. They fall down bleeding and trying to stand up again, slipping in the blood on the stone floor. And then Dunville takes his action. I'm actually going to give him a roll here. This is not super simple to do. He's still a human being. He's a badass, but he's a guy. So let's stay true to our gritty game here. I'm gonna give him a fortune roll to do this. One moment. Roll fortune. I give him 5 dice of willpower because that's his thing. Dunville's Iron Will.
You're about to see a fucking 1 Yahtzee right now.
I know, right?
That's the same combination I have on my luggage.
1, 3, 2, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4. That is a partial. Okay, so Aldo, actually, Careless, you both see this. Careless, you're not engaged. Oh, I need to put your dead body on here too. You killed your guy right there. As these 2 guys drop in front of you, and Careless, your guy drops dead. You see Dunville like, can I move so you can see me? He's down his side, and he's flailing in pain, where his leg has been crushed, and you see him like calm himself down and get steely-eyed again. He looks up, he sees Careless cut his man down. He sees Aldo kill these 2 dudes. And he reaches down to his belt and he takes his blade out and he goes like this to expose his neck. And he doesn't do it because he got a 5, but he's about to. He pulls it out and he goes, and he's drawn back to jam his blade into his neck.
I will do whatever roll you think necessary to immediately hurl my dagger at his hand.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I've got guns, and I've got hunt.
And I've got chills. They're multiplying. I'm losing control.
Because this power you're supplying, it's electrifying.
Literally. Yeah.
It works so well.
Chat's gonna be so mad. I've had that song stuck in my head for 3 weeks, and every day I'm just singing it on stream.
Nice.
We didn't know that Rune had a theme song, but now we do. Yeah, Jeff, you can totally do that. You've killed your guy. You're not engaged. You're free for a second. So mark it on your load, like your blade or 2 or whatever it is for your load or throwing knives or whatever you brought.
He just said, yeah, it's not throwing knives. It's a knife the one that constantly appears.
Oh, his fighting dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Is it skirmish then?
Um.
Or
No.
finesse?
I think it's finesse. This is you're not trying to kill him or wound him or something. It's like a trick shot with your knife, right? To like knock the blade out of his hand. That's totally finesse. Yep.
Desperate?
I don't think so. I mean the consequences. Let's see what the consequences are here. They are he successfully kills himself, which is bad for you, but not in a direct way. There's one guy alive next to you.
I'm trying.
No, I'm sorry. I think I know you want it, but you and the knights did really well. You're not in danger right now. Like if you were fighting this guy and you tried to throw the knife during the fight, yeah, definitely desperate.
Okay.
But you killed him, so it's controlled and standard effect.
Controlled, standard. 6.
Nice shot. You do it with no consequence. I was gonna say like reduced effect, maybe, right? Like you hit him, you hit his hand so he doesn't complete the action. As a consequence, he hangs on to the blade. But no, you actually. What do you want to do? Do you want to?
Well, I think I just cut down the guy, and then I kind of look at him, like you said. He looks at me, and then steels himself for this moment to X himself, and I just. Again, in my offhand too, which is interesting to note, the blade just appears. I just chuck it and just palm his hand, assumingly disarm him, and also make it so, if you have a through and through knife wound, you don't have a lot of strength in that.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Yeah. So it like pins through his hand, the blade up to the hilt.
Yep.
His dagger goes spinning away.
I feel like tiny bit bad for him.
And I think
just the Terminator walk at him now. Smiling.
Just because you got a full success, and not to give you any GM fuckery here, like, oh, now you're giving me another blade, haha, now I kill myself with this. In the moment of threat, his dagger goes spinning, and you stab him through the hand, and he, without thinking about it, he horrified, like pulls it out and throws the dagger down without thinking it through.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, if you got a 6, I'm not going to be like, oh, thanks for the knife. Yeah. So you've disarmed him with your attack.
That was the intent, yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say. And then now he's looking around frantically, and let's see who's nearby. Oh God, Myth's guy. I have to turn my back and run from a knight or from Myth. Well, fuck it, they're cultists. They'll try it. And can you give me a Myth roll, and I'll roll for the knight.
2 4s. Again, I had 2 4s last time.
Oh, wait,
crit.
Oh.
The knight got a crit. Okay.
Ooh. Oh, the knight. Okay.
The knight cuts his dude down.
With +1 effect, by the way.
Tired.
Yep. And yeah, Myth is going to do, let's see, +1 effect. They're even. They've exchanged one harm.
Or you already do that with Myth's dice roll, though, right? You get the +1 dice and stuff.
Yeah.
+1 effect.
Does that kill him? I don't think it does. I'm gonna make a fortune roll for the cultist. Myth. He turns his back on Myth, and they sort of skirmish. They've already battled. He inflicted a wound on Myth and took one in return. And when he turns to flee, Myth mauls him in the back. But does it instantly kill him or not? Fortune roll. It does. Okay. Dunville is fucking out of luck. He tries to get. He's like looks at these cultists and wordlessly like commands them to come and do something. And when they turn their backs on their opponents, they get finished off. So the tide is turning. Of course, that's what always happens when the last word shows up. Cool. So I think that's like our full opening skirmish here. You guys have waded into the room, cutting dudes down left and right. Dunville has tried to end his own life for some reason and failed. There's only a few cultists left kicking. And
I'm stomping towards Dunville, by the way.
Oh yeah. So yeah, you guys are moving.
Yeah, both of us are, I'm sure.
Yeah, nice. I think Miss Cataby, you can definitely you can make a study roll here if you want. I'll tell you what you experience, and then you tell me if you're more aware of this, or if you want to focus on the battle. You're this pillar that you're up against.
Yeah.
It's fitted stone. It's old stonework, but human crafted, like nicely fitted sort of bricks that go up to the vaulted ceiling above. You feel a tremor from the pillar, from inside the pillar. One of the bricks kind of goes and gets a little bit loose, and brick dust. You're leaning up against it for cover, and some brick dust drifts down onto your shoulder.
And so I'm rolling a study to see if I find out more.
If you want to, yeah, you can. If you want to just keep going and step forward and keep fighting, that's fine. Or if you think like, hang on, wait a minute.
Yeah, I'll roll a study. I think that makes sense.
Okay, so you can tell me how you sort of investigate this, but you can make a study roll to see what's happening here.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess I just immediately look at the source of where it came from, or the noise if I heard a shuffling or a shifting of a brick.
Yeah.
So maybe like start running my hands along the wall and whatnot.
Gotcha. Okay. Study away. 5. So, are you wearing your artifact of Kotar that lets you tell when people are lying?
Yes, definitely. Okay.
So, when you brush your hand across the surface of this, we see this ring. It's kind of plain, this old, antique-looking, brass, coppery kind of ring. We haven't gotten a real good look at it before. This has been a little bit of a secret that Miss Kennedy has had, this artifact. And now we're seeing it on screen for the first time close up. And it's like a Lord of the Rings shot where it's this close macro shot on the ring. And we can tell that, yeah, it looks like some cheap old ring, but up close, it's finely, almost invisibly engraved with ancient markings. And as you brush your hand across the stone, the markings light up on the ring and start to glow faintly. You see it too. And between one of the cracks of the bricks, a beam of light comes out through the mortar, like something's glowing inside it, and the bricks fall slightly apart. And this light, we see Miss Kennedy's face. There's this like shaft of light on her eye, and you can see inside. There's something inside. These pillars are hollow, and there's chains hung inside with something hanging from it. It looks like a double fist-sized rock, maybe. It's hard to tell, but it's glowing and it's casting light out of this. And your proximity to it, I guess, that's the impression that you're getting. You didn't get a 6 here, so it's not like perfect understanding, but
right.
Kind of get a sense that like bringing the ring close to this thing made it like react to you, and it's like vibrating in response.
I realize like I don't know exactly, but do I sense that this is a bad thing, or
it doesn't seem threatening to you? No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
And I'm the only one that sees this?
At the moment, yes, although Rune is in position to notice this too, like to glance out of the corner of her eye. She could see you like with your hand up with a shaft of light coming out of the... She would totally be aware of that's happening.
Okay.
But you don't get any weird vibe, like magic-wise, Rune. Whatever's happening in that sense is happening to Miss Kennedy.
Okay.
Cool. So on that revelation, I think we're due for our next break. And we will come back for our final hour today. Actually, we have a short game today. So Miss Kennedy has discovered something inside the pillar. It's reacting to her magic. And we'll be back in just a few minutes to discover maybe what that is. Stay tuned.
Nice.